Well, on that happy note, good morning and welcome back to another edition of Bakersfield Business Partners weekly podcast. My name is Duncan Harris. I'm the owner of Insurance Savings Group and past president of Bakersfield Business Partners, which is a BNI networking chapter here in Bakersfield. We meet once a week, Tuesday mornings at 7:30, and we help our members grow through referrals, but also through education and through relationships. We have the best group in town. There's no doubt about that. And the reason why is we have the best members. So we started our podcast to highlight those members. And we have with us today the one, the only, the highly distinguished, top-rated real estate agent in all of California, Mr. Marvin Bush. Good morning, Marvin.
Good morning, and thank you. So no pressure with that at all.
How'd I do on that intro? Was that accurate, 100%?
Well, maybe you left a couple things out, but
okay.
I think it was pretty accurate.
I'm sorry. I'll check my notes next time. Well, look, good morning. Thanks for being with us. This is your second time on the podcast, maybe third time?
Second time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Glad to have you back. So we'll just kind of dive right into maybe what you do really quick, how long you've been in your job.
Well, we help people realize their dream of home ownership. We help people that are looking to maybe upsize or downsize, sell their homes, buy new ones and stuff. But, one of the things we really like is we just really enjoy helping people realize that goal of home ownership. And, it still is the American dream. And we've been doing this for about 22 years, I think. But I've been buying and selling real estate in Bakersfield since 1984, or 1986.
A little while.
So it's been a couple of days on there.
I think I was born in 85. So I was in diapers when you sold your first home.
Yep.
So tell us, this is, as we sit here today, it's April 2023. There's been a lot of things going on in the real estate market.
Right.
Nationally, statewide, locally. Kind of give us a synopsis of where we're at here in Bakersfield and Kern County right now.
So first of all, if you're concerned about the real estate market, stop watching the news.
Yeah. So, every other thing I see on TikTok is how the market's going to crash and, it's time to get out, sell your house. So what's going on there?
Well, if that's your mindset, I'll give you my number and we'll be more than happy to help assist you in selling your home. However, one thing to remember with real estate is always local. So it doesn't matter what the national news is saying about real estate. What matters is what's going on in your own market that you're in. So I will tell you that we are not going to see a crash in the real estate market.
Okay. So this is not going to be a repeat of 2008.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It's
so why is
complete different reasons for that. So the difference that you look at is people that actually own homes now, they all have equity in their houses. It was a little bit different than the market that we saw back in 05, 06, 07 with that. And the people that are buying homes now, and for the last probably 8 to 10 years, they're fully qualified buyers. It's not a matter of just putting whatever you want on an application and you're approved to buy. It doesn't work that way. And that changed quite some time ago on there. So the people that are buying the homes, they're qualified to buy. Also, too, by far the majority of the people that are buying now are owner-occupied purchasers on there. So a little bit different than what was going on in that last market during the crash and stuff when we had such a high number of people that were absentee owners and they were buying and flipping properties and stuff. So much different market that we're in now.
Is it more of like a normal market? Is it somewhat healthy, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. So for some reason, people think we're in a declining market, and we are absolutely not in a declining market.
And they think that because interest rates have gone up?
Right. So we're in what's called a decelerating market. So the values have not gone down. In fact, we're still up almost 10% from a year ago. Now, the numbers of transactions are dramatically less than they were, but it's a little difficult to gauge what's going on today by what was happening in 2021 and even early 22, because that was not a normal market on there. So we are actually in a very normal market right now. And the one thing to remember, we're still in the worst housing shortage in the history of this country. So the values are not going to go down on there. And where we're at right now, so rates got up to about 7.5%. So now they're back down to the low sixes. Okay. If they drop 0.5%, which I think they probably will, on there. If they get down to the mid to low fives, you're going to see another feeding frenzy with home buyers on there. It just, what happens when you have that big of a change in rates, because you have to remember we went from 3% rates all the way up to 7.5% rates in less than a year, 6 to 9 months. That was the time frame.
That's fast.
That's quick.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some rate shock that was happening. And people were a little surprised with the difference in the payments. Somebody that may have been pre-approved the year before, and then they get reapproved and they're a little shocked at what the payment difference was because the rates have virtually doubled on there.
So, I mean, without, guaranteeing accuracy, give me like some kind of idea. So let's say, I mean, if you can, like what's the average home price here in Bakersfield?
We're right just under 380 is what our median home price is.
So, I mean, what's the difference in, do you know the difference in monthly loan?
Well,
380?
yeah, so you're looking at a 380, if you're looking at like an FHA, so that payment at 3% would have been somewhere in the $2,400 a month range.
And then go to what, 7?
And when you go up to 7, you're going to look closer to the $3,000 a month range. So it's definitely a difference in your monthly mortgage payment. But I shared something with our group here a week and a half, 2 weeks ago about what the average rent rates are. And it's pretty staggering when you look at what the rent rates are as well. So
they're just as high, aren't
they? They are absolutely. So they're going up at an average of between 9 to 10% per year. And we are at the highest rent rates in history right now. Yeah. And they're only going to continue to go up. So, people, it may cost you a little bit more to buy a home, but in 5 or 10 years, when you get ready to sell that house, you're going to actually reap the benefits of home ownership. I guarantee you, if you're renting in 5 or 10 years from now, when you move out, that landlord is not going to give you a giant check to move out. It just doesn't work that way. So the homes are still selling. Normally, the homes that we're listing, if they're priced correctly, they're gone in a week or two, and we're getting pretty much full price for them. So it's, when you look at the averages, Northwest Bakersfield, the average list to sell ratio is right at 100%. Southwest, it's the same. Some other parts of town, it's 99, maybe not high 98% range. So people are still getting what they're asking for their houses on there, and they're still selling relatively quickly if they're priced correctly, and it's a nice home. So.
What about all the young people, the millennials, and all these people who are coming into the market? Are they having any effect on
absolutely
real estate?
Yeah, there's still a huge demand in the housing market. And again, right now, nationwide, I think the estimates are we would need, just to get to an even playing field right now, we'd need between 10 to 12 million more homes than we currently have in this country, because we're that far behind. Part of the reason is that over the last, since I think it was 2008, 2007 was the last time that we built more than 1 million homes in a single year in this country. And currently, at the rate that we're growing in through attrition from fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, we need about 1.2 million homes a year just to stay even.
To be built, just
to stay even on there. So, and we haven't had more than 1 million homes built since, I think it was 2007 was the last year that happened. So every year we keep falling farther and farther and farther behind.
So what advice would you give to someone, looking to buy a home here in Bakersfield? Is the advice the same as it's always been? Are there maybe things they need to do, or I don't know. What are some pointers you would give to someone looking to buy or sell?
Right. So in the current market that we're in, so number one is you need to save your own down payment and closing costs money.
Okay.
Because it depends entirely on price point. So the lower the price point that you go, the more the competition is on there. So if you're in the $200,000 to $300,000 range for purchasing a home, that's a pretty vicious price point to be purchasing in.
How many offers would you expect to see on a home going for $300,000?
It depends. If it's a nice home in a nice area, you're probably going to see somewhere between 5 to 10 offers on the property as well. So we're not in a situation where sellers are desperate to sell. They're still getting multiple offers. It is still a seller's market, although it's not as bad as it was in 21 and early 22. It is still absolutely a seller's market. And one of the things that's happened, so we have less buyers in the market today, but we also have less sellers in the market as well. So the market has definitely balanced itself out. The second thing that I would say with buyers today, especially first-time buyers, manage your expectations, because you can't have champagne taste on a beer budget. It doesn't work that way. If you qualify for $300,000, you have to have your expectations in line as to what you're going to get for $300,000. You're not going to be moving into Seven Oaks for $300,000. It just doesn't work that way. So,
life just isn't fair,
Right. And then the other thing that I think with most people is that you have to actually be focused, and you have to be dedicated to getting it done, because the odds of you getting your first or second offer accepted are extremely remote. You're going to have to look at a lot of houses. You're going to have to write multiple offers before you actually get one accepted and stuff.
Meaning that this process of buying a home is going to be just that process. I mean,
absolutely right.
How long would you expect it to take, on average?
Well, minimum 60 days, up to 6 months or a year. It just really depends on what you're looking for and in the area that you're looking with that. But that is the difference with this. So it is a process. Buying a house is not like going to the car dealership and picking up a car and bringing it home. It just doesn't work that way on there. And part of the reason is that even now we still don't have the inventory that we need to meet the demand that we have, although it's slightly better than it was, because we're not, every time a house came on the market in 2021, 2 or 3 days we had 20 or 30 offers on it. So it's not that same feeding frenzy, but there's no desperation in the market by any stretch of the imagination with sellers. So you just have to be focused, and you have to be willing to just keep writing offers and keep looking at properties until you get your home on there. And we always try to tell people when we first start is just remember this: your home may not even be on the market yet. So let's just stay focused. We're going to look at properties. If you see something that you like, we'll write an offer on it. Hopefully we'll be able to get the offer put together and get you into your home. But again, there's just a lot of competition in the market. So
yeah. What about for sellers? People selling their home, they've bought, maybe they're moving or downsizing or whatever, and they want to maximize the value and have a smooth, seamless transaction. I mean, what kind of pointers and tips?
Well, my first thing that I always do with all of my sellers is I always do a walkthrough on their property with them. That's number one. And there are some things that I usually point out. You may consider doing this or doing this. The one thing when you're selling a home, you just need to be aware of that when you put your home on the market, it's showtime. You get one chance to make a first impression. Have your home ready for the market. And then the other part of it is be realistic on what you're asking for the property. So even though it is still a seller's market, a couple of things have to happen. There has to be a buyer that's willing to pay what you're asking for the home. And there's a 99% chance that buyer is going to be obtaining a loan to purchase that home. So that home has to actually pass the appraisal as well. Mm-hmm. So you can't just ask whatever you want for a home. It doesn't work that way on there. So there's parameters to go in that.
Are people pretty good with that? I imagine, they must ask you, Marvin,
absolutely,
what do you think this house is going to go for?
Right.
And you say, oh, it's going to go for $400,000. Do people really get stuck on a number like, well, we just think it's worth $450 or $500? Or when you show them the comps, how does that go?
Well, first of all, I'll start this by saying I've never sold anything but the nicest home in the neighborhood. That's the only ones that we ever sell. So yeah, everyone is very proud of their houses on there.
Right.
So when we sit down with our clients, we've already done a market analysis, and we have a pretty good idea of what the value is going to be. When we're putting a number or making a recommendation for a list price on a home, we're not just pulling that out of thin air. We're doing our due diligence and our research on finding out what comparable homes in that neighborhood have sold for. And that's usually within a 90 to 180 day period prior to that. And then it's also based on condition. It's based on upgrades, because there are no two homes that are the same, period. There, you can have the same builder, same neighborhood. There's still no two homes that are the same. They're all very unique. And we'll go through that. Condition plays a huge part in that. I mean, there's just, the nicer your home and the least personalization that you've done to your home will actually benefit you the most when it's time to sell your house.
Personalization. Give me an example of something that might be cool, but maybe hurts the value of your home.
Well, if you thought it was really cool to put checkerboard tile in your kitchen, that might be a little harder to get sold. Some of the colors that you choose for your house, that could have some effect on the marketing of the property as well. We just try to let people know, enjoy it while you're there, but know that if it's very personalized, you may have to change that before it goes on the market.
Yeah.
Or it may have a very negative impact on what you're going to get for your house.
So let me ask you this. You've been doing real estate for 35 years, something
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little while. So what do you think sets you apart, maybe from the average or just other agents here in town?
It's just follow up, follow through. When we're doing stuff, it's everything that we do, it's focused on our client's best interest on there. And we're very patient with our clients, but I'm also not a sugarcoating kind of guy. If they're being unreasonable, I'll let them know that you're being unreasonable here. And what we try to do is get, whether we're working with a buyer or a seller, and a lot of this comes with negotiation, price setting, things like that. We always try to ask them, okay, put yourself in the seller's position. Put yourself in the buyer's position.
Yeah.
If you saw this come across, what would your first reaction be if you saw something like this on there? So, and then the other part of it is we're very relational focused. We're not transactionally focused. We don't want to help you buy your first or this home. We want to help you buy all of your homes. We want to help you sell all of your homes. We want to help your family members. We run our business 100% by referral, and we take very good care of our clients. And I do have a team, so there's always one of us available, regardless of what day it is.
What's the ideal customer for you look like?
Well, I think, again, we do like working with first-time home buyers. It's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding. Yesterday we actually closed one. It was kind of nice giving the keys to somebody that, they had an interesting past and kind of got their life back on track and stuff. And it was their opportunity to buy their first home. It's pretty rewarding when you get to do that.
No, that's very cool.
So, and they were just excited. I mean, it's there, and which they should be. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah.
With that, so we really enjoy that part. It's kind of nice when we're working with people that have owned their home for a little bit longer. When kids are all gone, it's time to downsize, time to look for the next chapter of life. It's really fun working with sellers looking at selling their home and buying something that's going to fit their new lifestyle a little bit better. It's fun to do that as well. So,
over at the beach.
Yeah, well, yes, it's always nice to get those houses where there's beaches included on there. So, do you
do a lot of business out of town?
I do some, not a huge amount, but I do a fair amount over on the Central Coast. And we have a couple down in the LA area right now that we have listed for sale. And a lot of that is we do a lot of probates. So that's something that I've been doing for quite some time. And it's a little bit different, a little bit more specialized.
So what else? I mean, the housing market's not going to crash. Seems like, it's kind of the basics when it comes to buying and selling a home. Mm-hmm. What else is going on in the industry? Anything new? Any programs the government's come out with? Or, what else is kind of new?
Well, there are still programs for first-time buyers. There was another program that California had, and I was shocked at how quickly the money went. Mm-hmm. But they did have the California Dream program, and they had $300 million that was set aside for down payment assistance and stuff. And that wasn't just for low income; that was for virtually anybody. And that $300 million was gone in 10 days. I was shocked at how quickly that went. So, as far as programs going, That one was finished up, so that one's kind of gone by the wayside. But they're still, again, through FHA, there's still first-time buyer programs. If you're a vet, veterans have amazing programs and the ability to buy a home for very little out of pocket on there. I mean, you're talking a couple $1,000s out of pocket to buy a home. It's just a phenomenal program, which they should be entitled to that. They've earned that right to have that program available to them.
You know, for veterans, so that the down payment or the money out of pocket is lower to buy, but
absolutely,
is everything else kind of the same, like credit score and interest rates?
Well, credit scores are going to be kind of the same across the board. There's a little bit of differences, 0.5% maybe up or down, depending if it's FHA, conventional, VA. The benefit that veterans have is there's no mortgage insurance. So that's pretty awesome that you can come in with zero down and there's no mortgage insurance on there. And part of that is that they've already proven that they're responsible, and the foreclosure rate on VA loans is the lowest of any other type of loan that we have available on there. So it's a great program. We really like working with vets. I really enjoy helping them buy a home because again, I appreciate the fact that they stepped up and served their country, and we really enjoy working with them. So.
Well, very cool. So anything else before we kind of switch gears here and talk about B&I?
No, I mean, again, it's there's still opportunities available. If you're looking to sell your home, it's still a great market to sell a home in. And like I said, normally speaking, if it's priced correctly, it's a nice home. In a week or two, it'll usually be in escrow on that. So,
what about investors? I mean, it seems like starting back in 2008 when the market kind of dipped or crashed, then everyone was like investing in properties.
Right.
And then prices have come up now, and so have interest rates. Are there still a lot of investment opportunities in real estate?
Absolutely. In fact, income properties, I'm shocked at how quickly those are still selling, and it's and what people are paying for them. But if you look at the flip side of that, so the last couple of years have been a little bit volatile in the stock market.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of people that have decided that they want to invest in real estate because it's dramatically more stable. Is the one thing to remember with with recessions, whatever, there may be things that people are going to cut out, but the one thing they're not going to cut out is their housing. It's just a necessity.
You gotta have somewhere to live.
Absolutely right, and it's not going to change. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of investors really like. They like that stability that you get in with income properties on that. And on the other side of that, we are still in the worst housing shortage, so the demand is not changing. And I was looking at some stats citywide with apartment rents. The vacancy rate is 2%. Which is just
that's
crazy,
non-existent basically.
Right on there. So the demand is always going to be there. And the last statistic that I saw in the state of California, at the current rate that we're building affordable housing, if our population doesn't increase, we'll be caught up in about 55 years. So it's we're on the right road to recovery for that. So it's very attractive for a lot of investors that are looking for rental properties and stuff. And it's steady monthly income from it as well, and that's another benefit.
Do you work with investors?
Absolutely. I'm an investor myself, so absolutely we work with investors all the time.
Well, good deal. So you've been a real estate agent for a long time. You've also been a member of B&I for a really long time. Do you know what year you first joined our group?
Well, yeah, as you recall, I started the group in 2008.
I don't recall. I know I started, I think, in 2009 or 10.
Right. So
everyone before that is just like an old dinosaur to me.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, us old dinosaurs, we decided to start this in I think it was the fall of 2008 when we decided to start the group on that. And part of the reason is that we did want to join a B&I group, but the first two categories that are taken are real estate agents and insurance agents. Those are the first ones that join every group. And so we decided to start this one. And obviously, I've really enjoyed it. I'm really happy about how large the group is grown, but the one thing that I'm most happy about is the caliber of people that we have in the group and it's like anything else, you're going to have people come and go, but we have a lot of members that were very close to original members.
Sure, we really do.
Of the group, and we have a lot of really long-time members, and it's nice, having those relationships that you build while you're doing the business. It's great to do the referrals, but the relationships are great as well on there.
So let's describe BNI really quick for people that don't know. Basically, we're a group of business owners or decision makers in our companies, and we meet together once a week.
Right.
And everyone in the group, every member has an opportunity to give a 60-second commercial about themselves, about their business. And that 60-second commercial is really designed to educate the other members of the group on who they are, what they do, what makes them different, special, unique, how they can help people. And then the idea is that everyone in the group, all the members will give referrals, can use their network, can tap into their network and pass referrals right to other members of the group. So BNI is huge. They're worldwide, and the chapter's grown from 8 or 9 people, and I think we're at like 28 people right now. And then I shouldn't say every year, but the last few years, our group of 25, 30 people has passed $2 million in referrals annually.
Correct. Right.
So I think that's what Marvin's talking about. Is there's lots of BNI chapters out there. They meet every week, and there's not a lot of production. They're just kind of hanging out. It kind of becomes a social club. And I feel like our group, the structure, and then the type of members we have, it's been very successful. I know it has for me personally. I'm an insurance agent. It's helped me grow, and then for you. So, but yeah, I mean, how has BNI helped you grow, or how does it kind of keep you busy on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I will start by saying whenever we decided to start this group, the one thing that we had discussed and that we'd focused on is, or we made the decision on, was we were going to focus on quality, not quantity. We weren't looking at being the biggest group. It's the quality of the members that we were looking for is what we focused on. And we've turned down or declined as many applications as we've approved for membership to the group on there. And part of that is just making sure that the people are a good fit, because we don't want someone just taking up space. We want everybody to be active members, because we know what the value of the seats are. So our last term, each one of the seats was worth $100,000 for that term on there. So it's a very valuable seat that we have available to our members. So we obviously want them to be active. And this is the most important part. So I look at it like when I show up, I have 28 other people on my sales team. They're promoting me with their clients and family members and friends. And I'm doing the same with those other members there. But what I want to make sure of is when I'm promoting those members, I want to know the quality of the service or product that they're going to provide to the people that I'm referring to them. And that's the reason that we focus so much on quality and not quantity with the members.
That's always hard for me, right? We get these potential new members, they come in and they're kind of gung-ho. They want to join BNI. And then, the membership committee will meet and we're like, it's probably not a good fit.
Right.
Either because, well, number one, they're not really committing to coming every week.
Right.
Or number two, they're going to come, but it's actually going to be split between 4 different people, and might be this person one week, that person. And people really have a hard time when they get, I don't want to say rejected, but when their application is denied.
Absolutely.
They're like, what? You guys just don't accept us? Like, it's not personal, but
absolutely, it's not.
We visited a chapter down in Ventura, you and I and a couple other members from our group. And how many members did they have?
Wasn't 48, I think, something like that. It was a lot. It was close to 50.
It was big. Let's say 50 members. And our group here in Bakersfield did more referrals, did more in closed business than that group, which was double our size.
By a wide margin.
By a very wide margin. And
I think it was over $1 million difference, wasn't it?
Yeah. And so it just goes to show you, like, when we visit their group, it was just more of a social club.
Right.
Come get your breakfast, hang out, say hi to your friends, and then that's it. The meeting kind of runs. They did have a good structure.
They did.
But there wasn't the connection that we have. So that's kind of why I think our group really stands out. So we're not only are we passing referrals, we do a really good job on education, but then relationships, like we build really good long-term relationships between our members that leads to trust and that leads to more business, more referrals.
Absolutely. And again, one thing that's clear is we're there, number one, for the business networking and to grow each other's business. That's the number one reason that we're there every Tuesday. And but the other side of that is we've actually built some great friendships through the group and stuff. And, you know, it's been fun. We've actually gone on some trips and did some fun stuff. So it's nice to be able to do the social part outside of the meetings and stuff and the friendships that you built. But we are there for the purpose of growing each other's business and helping people succeed in what they're doing on there. So, and I do think that by far it is the best group. I may be a little bit biased because it's kind of like a little child of mine that, you know, it was fun starting that. It's been great to watch it grow over the last 15 years. But again, it's my favorite morning of the week. I look forward to our meetings on Tuesday mornings. And the reason I look forward to that is we live in a pretty negative world. And it's really nice to be able to get there on Tuesdays and have that positive injection of energy for your business for the rest of the week on there. Yeah. So that's the one thing I really look forward to.
I just have to echo that. Sometimes, you know, you come in, you're like, you don't want to go to BNI. Right. You're like, oh, and you kind of get out of bed and you go there. But literally being surrounded by 27 other people that are positive, they're hardworking, they're doing things, they have goals. It's contagious.
Absolutely.
You cannot go there and just kind of be a deadbeat. Like you will stick out like a sore thumb. So, but no, it's super uplifting.
Right. Absolutely.
It's very encouraging.
Yeah.
So anyhow, go ahead.
The other part that I like as well is having 26 or 27 other professionals that don't do what I do and I don't do what they do. And it's nice to be able to refer people to someone that's an expert in those fields and know that they're going to get taken care of.
Well, awesome.
And part of the reason for that too is if somebody is referred to you and you don't take good care of them, you're going to have to look those people in the eye every single Tuesday and knowing that you dropped the ball on there. So there's an added benefit of the members really stepping up and making sure those clients are taken care of when they get those referrals as well.
Awesome. Well, Marvin, thanks for everything you do, everything you contribute to the group, and thanks for joining the podcast today.
My pleasure. It's been a blast.
All right. Until next time, this is Duncan, and come visit us at BNI. We meet every week, Tuesday mornings at 7:30. The name of our chapter is Bakersfield Business Partners. We've been around since 2009. Long enough. We pass well over $1 million, sometimes $2 million in referrals every year. So come join us. Come check us out. Until then, we'll talk to you next time on the next podcast. Have a good week.